Alrighty, folks, just want to give a quick congratulations to all of my chairman members. Chairman members cashed in on 4 different premium selections on my premium site yesterday. We had the T-Wolves, Thunder, Penguins, and we also cashed in on a 2-teamer in the NBA. And the only way you could have accessed all of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive chairman package. Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on these free videos and what I do on my premium page. Well, what I do here on the free videos is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my premium page is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free plays I actually like the best. I'm 5-1 on my last 6 extra daily picks, 5-2 on my last 7 college basketball tier membership plays. And finally, folks, I'm currently hitting at 80% my last 10 chairman package picks on my premium site. And the good news is I have plays going off in all of those packages here today. Patreon.com/BrockPage, that's the site. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into some free content. Let's go ahead and start off with the Wizards at the Magic, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Orlando's the 11-point favorite, totals 237. And despite being pretty much the best covering team in professional sports, these Orlando spreads keep getting bigger and bigger now. And, at this particular number, I'm not feeling great for them. As good as these guys have been defensively, they do tend to struggle offensively late in games. These guys are one of the lowest second-half scoring teams in the NBA right now. And when it comes to shooting the long ball, they're literally like no threat shooting it from beyond the arc. They're almost dead last in three-pointers made. Now they're facing a Washington club on the other side who, I've said it all year long. I know we're early in the season, but if you guys watch the videos every day, you know that we have not been beating up on Washington because this is a Wizards team who has little problems getting to the basket despite their record. These guys are actually a top 3 field goal making team. Kyle Kuzma leads the roster in scoring. Denny Avdija shoots 40% from 3 land. And in the Wizards road trips this year, they've been solid covering the point spread. These guys have covered in 64% of their contests away from home. I think that's a spot that bettors probably aren't taking advantage of because, hey, it's tough to, in good conscience, take these guys on, in really any game, let alone on the road. But this is a team who covers away from home. Now, injury-wise, Ryan Rollins is still out for Washington. Fultz and Carter still inactive for the Magic. Jonathan Isaac's also questionable for the Magic as well. Now, total-wise, Orlando's gone 60% to the over against Eastern Conference opponents. Meanwhile, Washington saw 7 out of their last 11 road games get over the total themselves, and that's no real surprise. Like I said, they can score points, especially on the road. Give me Washington plus 11, keeping it within double digits, over 237. All right, next ball game, Grizzlies, Mavericks, 7:30 p.m. East, and this is another one, big point spread here. Dallas is minus 10.5, totals 229 and a hook. And as good as Dallas has been for the most part, they do have a losing record against the point spread at home. And in their last 10 gatherings with Memphis, they've actually had issues getting to the hoop. They're averaging only 108 points a game in their last 10 gatherings with Memphis. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. And speaking of the Grizzlies, they do play some tough defense on the road. They're in the top 5 in defensive field goal percentage while traveling. And I'll tell you what, the Grizzlies, they've made it pretty tough for their opponents to score in the second half. They're actually allowing fewer second half points a game than most clubs in the Western Conference. Jaren Jackson leads the roster in blocks, also second in the lineup in scoring. Meanwhile, Desmond Bane is dropping over 23 points a night himself. Now, Smart and Tillman are questionable for Memphis. LaRavia and Kennard still out. Meanwhile, for Dallas on the other side of things, Hardaway and Prosper are questionable. Kleba's inactive. Now, the Mavs went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. They're also 70% to the over against Western Conference opponents. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies saw overs against the likes of San Antonio and the Lakers. Give me the Grizzlies plus 10.5, over 229 and a hook. All right, next ball game, Knicks, Raptors, 7:30 Eastern tip-off. Toronto's 2.5, totals 218. And speaking of that total, the Raptors saw their last 3 straight all stay under the line. Unders against the likes of the Suns, Nets, and Cavs. And in their last 10 gatherings with New York, the Raptors have had all kinds of issues offensively. They've actually been held to just 42% shooting from the field in those gatherings. And of course, they're facing a Knicks team this season who's been one of the toughest to score against. These guys allow fewer points per contest than any other roster besides one. When it comes to rebounding the basketball, well, nobody does it better defensively on the road than New York. They're leading the Eastern Conference right now in defensive boards per game while traveling. Mitchell Robinson averages nearly a dozen rebounds a night. Julius Randle with double-digit boards himself. And I'll tell you, if you think it's all defense with New York, just keep in mind, they've been pretty dangerous shooting it from three-land this year. Now, injury-wise, Knicks pretty healthy for the most part at the moment. Meanwhile, for Toronto, Koloko and Noel, they're on that injury report for them. When it comes to the total, the Raptors' last 3 straight all stayed under the number. Meanwhile, the Knicks are 62% to the under against Eastern Conference opponents. Give me New York plus 2.5, under 218. Next ball game, another one should be good. Sixers, Celtics, 7:30 p.m. East. Boston is -6, totals 224. And I do think the Celtics can cover the number here. They've got the best record in the Eastern Conference, and they're covering in 75% of their home games. And speaking of those home contests, well, the Celtics are still undefeated in the Garden. Jason Tatum scores 27 points a night. Jaylen Brown's 21, 5, and 3. They're facing a Philly team on the other side who dropped 3 out of their last 5. And they had a bunch of problems defensively during that stretch. The Sixers actually gave up over 120 points a game on average during that time frame, throwing out that Laker win. And when it comes to offensive production, Philly's had all kinds of problems against Boston in recent gatherings. The Celtics actually held Philly to just 102 points a game in those head-to-head meetings. Now, injury-wise, Kristaps Porzingis still out for Boston. Joel Embiid questionable for Philly. 3 out of the Celtics' last 4 ball games stayed under the total. 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Give me the Celtics -6, under 224. Next matchup, Spurs, Pelicans, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. New Orleans is -12, totals 235. And for some reason, I'm not overly concerned about this number. The Pels have been a solid covering team this year. And they played some pretty good basketball in the Smoothie King Center. As a matter of fact, the Pels are covering in 73% of their home games thus far. And big Jonas Valanciunas, he's leading the lineup in blocks. 8 boards a game as well for the big man. And, of course, leading scorer Brandon Ingram, he snags a handful of rebounds a night. He's also making 50% of his field goals offensively. Now, they're facing a Spurs team on the other side who's probably going to go to work here tonight without Victor Wembanyama. Wemby's questionable again with that hip injury. And I'll tell you, regardless of Wemby's status, this is a Spurs team who just doesn't play any defense. They're allowing over 124 points a game. Their opponents make 40% of their three-pointers against them. Now, injury-wise, once again, Wemby's questionable. McDermott's day-to-day. Meanwhile, for New Orleans on the other side, Alvarado, Ryan, and Murphy are questionable. Nance is out. Now, total-wise, the Spurs are 13-5 to the over for the entire season. Good for 72% in that particular category. Meanwhile, the Pels have seen overs recently against the likes of Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Dallas. Give me the Pelicans -12, over 235. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. Going to be in that Nuggets-Suns game, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Denver's -3, totals 225. And for a team favored by a bucket on the road, the Nuggets have been terrible covering the point spread. These guys are covering in just 20% of their road games this year. And equally as shocking, Denver's a bottom 5 point producing team away from home in the West. They're facing a Suns team who won 7 out of their last 8. They play very physical on D. This is a top 3 defensive rebounding team at home. And I'll tell you, if you think you could just spread it out, you just got to keep in mind that these guys are in the top 5 in three-pointers allowed. You simply can't shoot the 3-ball against them. Yusuf Nurkic leads the roster in steals and blocks. He's also grabbing just about double-digit rebounds a game. And when it comes to offensive production, Kevin Durant's second in the league in scoring, 49% shooting from beyond the arc as well. He has been very dangerous from three land. Now, injury-wise, Devin Booker's questionable with an ankle. Gordon and Murray questionable for Denver. Now, the Nuggets have seen all 7 of their road games against Western Conference opponents stay under the total this year, 7-0 to the under in that particular stat. Now, they're officially 80% to the under in all of their road games this year. So, when these guys are away from the ball arena, you see plenty of unders. Give me Phoenix +3, under 225. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Wizards +11, over 237. Grizzlies +10.5, over 229 and a hook. New York Knicks +2.5, under 218. I'm 8-2 in my last 10 chairman package picks on my premium page. Good for 80% during that span. And the good news is I have another chairman package play going off here today. The link is in my bio. Celtics -6, under 224. Pelicans -12, over 235. With my next and final free pick, give me the Suns +3, under 225. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my chairman podcast absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page at patreon.com/BrockPage.